Hello, everyone. I know that soon mask mandates are probably going to disappear, but in case you still have to wear a mask, this is a very quick way to create one that's going to be completely personalized and unique. What you need is some cotton fabric. This is actually linen that I had lying around, and I decided to take advantage of it and create some unique things. This whole mask, to create it took me about an hour and a half, and it really turned out to be beautiful. So you will start with the thread. You can use any thread that you have. That's for embroidery, and the embroidery hoop is optional. I used to embroider without it for years. I mean, it sounds like I'm a pro. I'm not. I'm a beginner. So you will just need to use a hoop, or you don't even need it. You can just try to spread the fabric even and not pull the thread too tight and not too loose. One other thing that you can do is you're going to put maybe some form of some kind of stiffener for the fabric. It can actually be like lining, or it can be the interface. They can be fusible, and it will give it a little bit of more stability and an additional layer. I decided to go against it because this is more a fashion type of item, but it will protect you. I mean, it's not different from any of those that you buy elsewhere. So what you want to do is go over under in like a spiral type of way. I hope you can see this. If not, there is a bunch of tutorials online on how to embroider basic stitches, and I just wanted to show you the way that I did it. So right now I decided to go with the dark blue for the vines, for the stems of these plants, and the plants I prepared in advance. I like to draw my items before in order to know, to map them out what it is that I want. And once you start doing this, my advice is to do everything you can and everything that you need to do in one color. For example, all the stems are going to be blue, all the flowers are going to be pink, and the leaves are going to be this beautiful teal color, or well, actually it's turquoise more than teal. And it's pretty simple. It's straightforward. Once you learn how to do this stitch, it's going to go very fast. And I think that it took me over an hour because I needed to record it, and sometimes the camera does not record, so I have to go back. Once you finish with your thread, please secure your work. Don't worry if the backside looks messy. It really doesn't matter because it's not going to be visible. So now I'm finishing up with the blue thread in order to create more dimension. You can always alter the stitches that you use in order to create a design that's more unique and different. And this one is, I think it's called like French stitch, but I'm not really sure. These are these little cute balls. I don't know what to call them, and they look very good for the center of the flowers where pollen is, and they really create beautiful texture. I am absolutely in love with these. These put on some t-shirt will make it pop, even just, you know, randomly put on it. They don't have to be grouped. And now I'm going in to these to create little buds on top of these little stems, and I decided to just go with regular 3 stitches to create as if they were like little blossoms that are going to come out. Very easy, very simple. And one thing, when you're doing embroidery, especially for yourself or for a gift, it does not have to be perfect. And this is not me just saying it because mine is not. It's just because it really does not matter. It's not like you're going to go on some kind of competition or anything. Anyone can do this. It's really simple. It's really easy. You just go with the needle in and out, over, under, and that's it. Well, now these flowers might seem a little bit too tricky, but they are actually really not. So as you can see, I'm trying to save the thread because I didn't have enough, and I did not want to change the color of the flower. So I started creating these, pardon me, I started creating these little lines, these stitches one next to another, instead of like going around, like over, under, and around. In this way, you're saving yarn. There are numerous ways to do this, and because this flower was tiny, I decided to just go all the length, as you can see. It's a very simple stitch. You just need to stack them against one another as thick as you can get them because that's going to create that fullness in the flower and make it pop. And here I'm finishing that, and next I'm going to do the leaves. And the leaves are pretty simple to do. Just choose a color. I wanted them to pop and to give a little bit of happiness because this green is not the happiest of the greens. So you're just going to literally create little V's with this yarn. That's going to create that look of a leaf. And it's very easy. You just go in little V's. Always go back to the previous little hole where you started your stitch, or in between, and then a little bit up, and you just pull little V's all the time, one side and the other, and you just alternate between the two, and this is what you will get. It looks amazing. I'm very happy how this turned out. As for the design, you can find designs online. You don't have to create them from your head. There's a bunch of them that have already been tested and done, and my advice is to map them out and maybe even create like a little stencil and then copy it onto the fabric, because in this way you will avoid something that happens to me from time to time, that I want to make two of the designs look the same, and then one ends up looking bigger because they were not done. They were just freehanded, and of course when you freehand things, I'm not very good at copying them exactly to 100% looking the same, and stencil will help with that. And then you make sure that that the sides are going to mirror each other, because that's going to, in this case, create a bigger oomph effect. So now I'm just adding some extra blossoms to fill in the space, and this side is pretty much done. And last minute I decided to add a little bit more of those French stitches with little balls, and this added more texture and more happiness, I guess, to this, and now it looks more magical. There is no right or wrong here. You can add as many as you want to. You can also use thread that's glittery. There's a bunch of them that just look amazing. And this is what I have, and now I'm going to cut it out to shape. And I used a mask that I already have. I just really folded it nicely and ironed it in order to get the size. And I added about 1/2 centimeter extra in order to be sure that I have seam. And I made a second one exactly like this, but I, as you can see, tried to freehand it, and yeah, it worked out, but it was close. So once I finished with all of this, I had two sides of the mask. And now I'm cutting the lining. Lining is this lightweight cotton fabric that's very breathable and very nice and good for your skin and good for mine in this case. So that would be my advice. Try to find something like organic cotton. This is actually organic cotton, but a fine one. And you will need to have two pieces. So now we are going to proceed to putting them together. And to put them together, we're just going to use needle and thread, and we're going to go in and out and around. So I like this stitch. It probably has a name, but I don't know it. I like this stitch because this is the sturdiest stitch, and it really mimics what the sewing machine does. And all this took me like about 3 minutes probably, because it's very tiny. You don't really need to do it for a long time. It goes very fast. And once you're done, you're going to do the same thing for the lining, and then you're going to put them together. And here is the lining. I do the same exact thing, just I try to match the thread to the fabric color, and that's all. And once you have them, you're going to put them together, nice sides facing. This was the wrong side in terms of like it was upside down, but I fixed that later. And then you're just going to sew the edges. Here I put them in the right way, and I start sewing the top edges, top and bottom. I'm leaving the sides out because we will need to insert the elastics. So now that everything is done, here I forgot to show you, but I'm showing it now. It looks very nice and neat and clean. So you just turn it inside out and iron it in order to get it nice and flat, and so that it can cooperate with you and to get that nice shape. So you will see in a second what it looks like when it's ironed, and here it is, nice and flat and perfect. So you're going to make the little seam. So you're going to insert this portion like 1/2 centimeter in. This is very tiny, so anything bigger than 1/2 centimeter is going to be too big. Make sure that both sides are equal in length and equal in thickness, and take the thinnest elastic you can find. Try to cut enough. If you already have a face mask that's fairly new and your elastic is the same, it has the same elasticity as the one on your mask, measure it and add extra 1/2 centimeter because it's going to get into this seam. And that's pretty much it. You will need 2 of the same length. And then you're going to proceed sewing everything together. And this might look a little bit fiddly, and it is when you start, because you need to puncture and sew in the elastic. And then once that's done, you can continue sewing normally until you reach the end of this, where you will add the second portion of the elastic. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but anyways, I like to talk. And when it comes to that, if you like this video, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, and share. It really means a lot for my channel to grow. So hit that like button and subscribe. And this is pretty much the finishing touch, and here is the mask. So after I did this, I ironed it again together with the elastic, and this is the finished result. Thank you for watching. Bye!